So, yeah, good afternoon to all. I hope you all have enjoyed the morning session by Dr. Arnab Chanda. Dr. Arnab Chanda was with the IIT Bombay, and he has given the overview of the variable technology. Myself, Professor Sonawne, I'm the head of the department at Instrumentation Control, working in the embedded systems, embedded control.
Trial.
So I'm going to take you to today's session. Can I share my screen? Is it visible? My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
His screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So, yeah, this session is on components of wearable devices. A lot of wearable devices we already have known, we already are using, we already have experienced. But the question is, what are the major components are there? What are the common components are there? And suppose we want to go with manufacturing of such wearable devices. So what should be the included? I will just go through, all of you will take a tour of all these information with the components of wearable devices. Okay, so there are conventional devices and wearable devices. So probably we are very much known about this. The conventional devices like computer, laptops, or your mobile phone. Mobile phone can be a wearable device, cannot be a wearable device, because mobile phone is doing a lot of computing tasks. We can categorize this as a variable. Sometimes there are some physical activity bands are available. You can have the mobile phone with that band, and your mobile phone will be act as a activity tracker in that case. So it may act as a variable as well. But so it depends on whether we want to categorize mobile phone as a variable or may not be variable. And there are certain pictures I have shown here. These are the variable smart device. Of course, all the variable devices are smart devices. Otherwise, that cannot be a variable device. So, smart is the integral part of variable device. Of course, these are the miniaturized device. So, this picture will let you know how the technology from the conventional computing technology is moving towards miniaturized technology. Not only miniaturized, but it's a meaningful miniaturized who is doing very small tasks. See, computation wise, it should not be too heavy, because whatever the processing power is get used in the variable devices is not that huge. Other it should not be expect it's doing very huge processing power. But most importantly, the sensors, those are used in the variable devices, they are playing major role. It may be the your physical sensor, it may be the touch sensor, it may be wireless sensor. But what are the sensors you are using? So they are playing major role. Let's go with some sort of wearable devices. Please, in between also you can ask me the question, and it's not like that when I'm going to finish, and then only then you please ask me the question. Whenever you feel it's not visible properly, I'm not audible clearly, please interrupt me, let me know, and or you can even have some queries or questions you can ask in between. So the wearable devices, what exactly mean by wearable devices are the, first of all, it is a miniaturized device, very small in size, and it is worn on the body of the person, body of the human being. major application is to measure the display, like that measure the physiological parameters. One thing, display so that you can visualize it, and transmit. Okay, so you can transmit via wireless. So these are the three major tasks of wearable devices. It's not only measuring, but it's parallel displaying, also transmitting to some other device, also transmitting over the net, over the internet. So this is the three major function of any wearable device, of all the body parameters or physiological parameters of the person. So this is a broad definition of wearable device. That's comes in picture. Now, if you look for most of the wearable devices, what exactly they are categorized, what they are exactly they are characterized, you say, they are battery operated. This is, you say, default necessity of all the wearable devices. They are battery operated. So power consumption, that's why it poses a challenge on the designer's point of view. Your wearable device should be very power efficient. Rather, this is a major bottleneck in the design of wearable device. If your battery is drained after 2 hours, 3 hours, probably you will get very annoying to use that wearable devices. Sometimes you say that it's okay, even though I don't want to monitor. I don't want to monitor my body temperature. That's okay. But this power consumption and this battery changing, this is really a hurdle for me. So most concentration on power, utilization of the power. So battery technology is playing major role in this sense while designing the wearable devices. Second most important factor should be considered is the small in size. Of course, you could not say the wearable devices is very big in size and you are holding in your hand and just moving around. That could not be wearable device. That would be in turn with the turn as your a laptop or iPad or something like that. But a wearable devices is not like that. It should be very tiny. It should be very smart. It should be very, very small in size. Generally are tied with the body of the person. Most of the wearable devices, they are attached, even implantable with the body of the person. Maybe earrings, maybe your nail polish, maybe your you say wristband, like that. Okay, so they are attached with the body. Even your say insulin pumps. These are kind of things. They are not away from the body. So wearable devices size is also very crucial. Now, when size factor comes, at that time, what are the components you are going to be used? They should be very special type, so that it should be going to be fit in a miniaturized devices, and that will be due to the maximum efficiency towards power. Another most important factor is that wearable devices are generally web enabled. If your wearable devices is not web enabled, then probably you can only see at a local site what is my physiological parameter. But generally, these are the smart devices. They are used to transmit the information over a web, IoT enabled, so that it is available on your app on mobile phone. It is available to the concerned physicians, like that. So generally, I'm not saying 100%, but generally they are web enabled. So internet and IoT are playing the major role in the devices. Most important, fourth important factor is wearable devices needs to be stylish. Of course, if it is not stylish, probably people cannot buy it. And today's scenario is like that. Everybody wants, my phone is too stylish, my device is too stylish. Whether it is going to be used for 1 year, 2 year, nobody is going to see it. The usability point of view, we don't have the current scenario, but at least we are looking for it should be very stylish. So that is also necessity of designing the wearable devices, that designers also look into point like that. Okay, so I'm going to design a wearable device. These are the four important factors we should be always give emphasis, and we should always look into what is the small device we want to design. These four factors are important. Now, let us see the roadmap where the wearable device technology is there, where from it is started, and now where you look forward for next 5 years, 10 years down the line, where this technology is going to be live. So presently, if you look for present, this particular slide is taken from one of the wearable device web source. Now, if you see for 2017, 18, even 20, so phase one, initially it was when the wearable devices concept has started, it started like accessories. Okay, your headphone kind of thing. Headphone is an accessory. This is not tied. This is not tied with the body, but this is kind of the attachment to your existing computing device. Okay, so that kind of devices was initially started. That's why these are called as the extra accessories, external accessories. Now phase two, once the wearable technologies become mature slowly, now textile or fabric kind of thing, so they are trying to implant with this, and like you mean to say the wristband or feet band or Fitbit, these are kind of things. Now they are tied with the human body, such kind of devices. See, why miniaturization is possible? Because whenever in 2010, 12, this particular technology come in picture, that time battery technology was not that mature. Battery technology, power is playing the crucial role. That's why this is the problem. Now, slowly, when battery technology is becoming mature, battery technology is becoming advanced, people now trying to give the solution which can withstand for a day at least. So for next day, you can charge your battery. Also, the parallel MEMS technology is developing so that you can go to develop your sensor, design your sensor, miniaturize your sensor, and can be possibility to again reduce the size of the wearable devices. So if you look for phase three, patchable kind of devices. So you have the patchable devices on your body, or touchscreen type of devices on your body attached. So you can just play with this, and all the your physical parameters or maybe the body parameters is get monitored or even will transfer. But if you look for 2025 or maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line, so most of the devices now is coming as a implantable kind of devices. So people don't want the device to be a separate kind of thing from your body. Let us implant it with your body. I'm going to, let's say somebody wants, I want to be implant with my earrings, with my, with the earring, I want to implant the wearable device. With my wrist, with my body, I want to implant the insulin pump. I want to implant the physical activity tracker. So people are preferring, like even your eye lenses. Eye lenses are also now becoming smarter with the AI technology. So this kind of thing is not too far away just because of the miniaturization. I will let you know one more technology is very easy. From your body itself, you can charge your wearable devices. So battery concept is now vanishing in wearable devices. So there is no battery kind of thing. You can online charge your wearable devices whenever you require, and it can last long for a couple of days, couple of hours, couple of months even. So such kind of technology is developing. So you yourself can produce a charge, and you can charge your wearable devices like that. So such kind of technology is there. So if you look for roadmap and technological, you would say the perspective. So there is a lot of scope in the wearable devices to be developed, but one should be very aware about the miniaturization thing to be developed in embedded side, in a sensor side, in a display side. So these are the, if you look for discrete components, so that is that going to play a major role in the technology roadmap of the wearable devices. Now let's go and see for the key points for designing the wearable. So if you see for wearable design, so then if you look for the particular device, then selection of right electronic components is very important. You all of you aware about a simple transistor or simple op amp. Even 741, what we are teaching to our students. So now today's, if you look for op-amp, where it is a simple small device, that could be act as a op-amp. Even microcontrollers are now becoming so miniaturized. So selection of right electronic component is key in the design of the wearable devices. The electronic component should not be the energy, you mean to say, should not be take more energy. It should be very energy efficient kind of thing, as well as it should be the smart enough, can be going to fit in a small space. So electronic component, all of you are aware about the components which are using for the defense applications are different. Components we are using for the laboratory applications are different. Components we are using for consumer applications are different. Similarly, now people are categorizing the electronic components for variable kind of things. So separate category is not going to be introduced. So that we should be always aware about which are the components, which are the right components to be used for the variable. Parallelly, selection of software system, of course, if it is a smart device, definitely application program is running into that. Otherwise, it could not take the data and transmit to on the internet kind of thing. So application layer, there is one OS operating system, maybe customized operating system, maybe Android or maybe iOS kind of thing. But yes, every wearable device should have, rather having their own OS operating system. It becomes very easy for user interface. It becomes very easy for transmitting the data over your internet. So selection, the point in designing of wearable devices comes to the software selection as well as right component selection. So now, if you look for component wise, any general wearable devices, you need to say, start from your smartwatch, Fitbit, or any kind of thing, whatever in the morning Professor Arnab has explained to you. So if you look for what are the different components to be involved, discrete components to be involved in the wearable devices, then in the center, if you see, there is a microprocessor or microcontroller. Of course, ADC and operating system is an integral part of that. That is going to play a major role, and that is one of the major component in the wearable device. Of course, it is a battery unit, charging unit. Now, this battery unit, charging unit, which is called as a power unit, definitely without power, no microcontroller is going to be work. So there is a hello. Hello. So sorry. So there is a battery unit, charging unit, which is a power which is supplying to your microprocessor, and sensors. So of course there are certain sensors are there. Sensor which physically sensing the information of your physiological parameters of the body, or it may be the environmental parameters around your body, and that will be giving to the information. So sensors are definitely playing a major role and one of the major component in the wearable devices, and associated signal conditioning. Every sensor is not directly you can interface with the microprocessor or microcontroller. There is associated signal conditioning in there. So power side, sensor and computing system. On top of that, what is there? So extremely sorry, please. Hello. Sir. ओके सर, कधी पाठवलं तुम्ही? नाही सर, नाही भेटत नाही तुम्हाला, परत पाठवता का सर? चालेल. हो. Sorry. So data in and out. So in case of data in and out, so you have either touchpad to input your data, or it may be some wireless thing where you can in your data. Most of the time it's a touchpad, because as a size restriction is there, you could not connect the external keypad and all these things. So sometimes you can have the wireless input thing also. So let's say Bluetooth, your phone is connected to your wearable device via Bluetooth. So you can operate the keys through your phone and it is get transmitted to your wearable device. So that is also possible. So data in and out is there. So whether to display or maybe the input keypad. So this is the most important block in the wearable. Of course, user interface, whether it's a touch screen, which type of touch screen, capacitive, resistive, and what type of user interface, what type of API is running there. If there's a OS, definitely then what type of user interface you are providing. User interface, it may be the software side, it may be the hardware kind of side. Most of the time user interface, we are talking about the software user interface. And display, that I was talking to you, LCD display. It's a OLED or some type of LCD or some type of display. That is going to play another component for the wearable device. Audio in and out. Some device, we say like Alexa kind of thing, there is an inbuilt audio processing, inbuilt audio analyzer also. So you can simply say, hey, I just want to give you the ring at 5 o'clock. When you say like that, I just give you a ring at 5 o'clock, probably if there is a speaker at 5 o'clock, you will get a ring. Such kind of devices are existing. So they are analyzing your audio signal and accordingly they are acting. So Alexa kind of features are also inbuilt in a wearable devices. And most important is the wireless communication unit. I already told you that all wearable devices are IoT enabled. They are capable to transmit the data wirelessly, remotely. Okay. So this is a block diagram of generic wearable device. Whatever that I told you, this is a block diagram of components of the wearable device. I will now specifically mention to you what exactly in the power system, what exactly in the power supply. So power supply, not only there is a, even to say battery only there, but there is a battery management system is there, power management system is there, voltage regulator kind of thing, DC-DC converter is there. Then of course there is a battery charger also available. Right now the wireless or wired, both kind of thing, battery charger is there and battery. So this is your power supply unit. As power supply unit has internal 4-5 different components. Then sensors. Now analog sensors, it may be the analog sensor, tactile sensors, or it may be your MEMS kind of sensor. And this is also the external thing. Now display kind of, if you see the display, LCD display, OLED kind of display, or whatever the 7-segment LCD kind of display, whatever the display is there. So they are part of your wearable devices. Most of the time capacitive UI, capacitive touch screens, they prefer to be used in a wearable. And system on chip solution. So generally the microcontroller, though are using in the wearable, those are system on chip or ASIC type, so that they are dedicatedly designed to handle a particular application. They are dedicatedly designed to handle the variable what for that variable device is designed. So, and communication wise, if you look for wireless connectivity, either radio or it may be the BLE stack or 2.4 gigahertz bandpass filter. So this is for the wireless connectivity that will be used to the internet or Bluetooth connectivity. And this side there is a vibrator or maybe the LED or buzzer. This is another component for the generic variable block diagrams. Now, one by one, we'll be see the components of the variable device and what is their requirement and what we should look for that component. Now, microcontrollers, what is most important thing for microcontroller? We will look for the variable device. The most important thing of the microcontroller, it should be very, we say, low power microcontroller. And there are companies, there are vendors, those are specifically manufactured, they are specifically designed the microcontrollers for the variable technologies. Very famous ST microcontroller has one derivative. Texas is having another derivative, which is MSP430. Even Atmel, initially it was now microchip taken from the microchip. Atmel also has one derivative, which is specifically designed for the variable. So there is a one function which is called as a low power utilization. So nanoampere current that takes for the every processing action what you are doing. So that ultimate goal is to extend the battery life. Ultimate goal is that to extend the what battery you are using, charging of the battery what you are using. Another important factor for the microcontroller is that it should have the easy UI interface. like the touchscreen interface, capacitive touchscreen interface should be the on-chip function, on-chip utility for the microcontroller. So power consumption, low power driving capacity, then of course your touchscreen interface, UI interface, that is another thing for the what we should be having in the microcontroller. And third important thing is what that microcontroller is the IoT enabled microcontroller. Of course, if you look for MSP 430, MSP 430 may not be having the IoT capability, but yes, you can connect, you can have the extra tag of the IoT, which is internet TCP/IP tag, and you can have the interface with the MSP 430 because we are exploring the MSP 430 because of the low power device. So space is also another constraint for the microcontroller that we are selecting. Microcontroller should be miniaturized, of course. So what are the MSP 430 available in the market? This is generic MSP 430, but for specifically variable kind of thing, there are MSP 430, which is for the design for the variable, so that it has the BGA or maybe the low end SMD kind of technology, and that is going to fit on the small PCB, and that is going to fit on a variable device. Of course, flexibility in design that comes in a design point of view, but for the microcontrollers, specifically if you go for such kind of microcontroller which is towards the ASIC kind of thing, then probably the cost is tremendously, you can reduce the cost with the microcontroller. Right? And people generally prefer for ASIC for a particular application where you can find the MSP 430 architecture, which supports the low power kind of. So computation point of view, the microcontrollers are playing major role in the variable. That's why I see incorporate most of the functions in a single chip. So you can find a single chip is doing a lot of function, and those people knows about the MSP 430 particularly. Is a 16-bit microcontroller, a complete system on chip, extremely low power and very high speed. So it's a RISC microcontroller, advanced RISC microprocessor, and designed specifically for this kind of application. So if you look for those who have already worked on MSP 430, so you'll get to know that MSP 430 major design criteria is for the low power application. There are certain interrupts that you can enable, so it will work in the low power and almost consumes nanoampere current, even in a simple computation you are doing. So maximum utilization, even though not going for the milliamperes. So, and your battery, let's say battery has a capacity of maybe the 2.5 milliampere hour or 2.5 ampere hour kind of lithium-ion batteries. Depends which battery you are using, what is the size of battery you are using. So definitely, if you use such kind of microcontroller, you can extend the battery power. Another version of microcontroller is 32-bit ARM processor. But I could not recommend this 32-bit ARM processor. Why you want 32-bit ARM processor? Depends upon which type of variable device you are going to be using. If the variable device itself is having the big LCD screen and you want to play some video kind of thing on the variable device, then probably, or you want to do more lot of computation like virtual reality and some artificial intelligence kind of algorithms if you want to run it. Or memory, suppose you have a large memory requirement to store the data to take the next action, then probably the ARM processor is suitable. Otherwise, ARM processor will not the power efficient, you can say, compared to the MSP 430. So most of the Fitbit and your Apple Watch or maybe this digital watch, they are using the MSP 430. But like implantable things like insulin pumps, and the devices, those are doing more computation and having let's say the large screen, and where you want to see some video, small video, or even some if you have any question, so please. Yes, do you have any question?
Sir, I think no question up till now.
Okay, somebody has raised the hand. I got some text like somebody has raised the hand for the question. That's why I have to.
Okay.
Okay, so no problem. Yeah. So why should not we prefer to go for the 32-bit ARM processor that I was discussing? Because 32-bit ARM processor is the clock is high compared to the MSC 430, can go up to 100 or 200 million hertz. So probably it will be consume a lot of power. But if my requirement is there, for computation requirement is there, then I will definitely go and select the 32-bit ARM processor in variable as well. But otherwise, the choice is very simple. Go for MSC 430 kind of architecture, which is intentionally designed, which is intelligently designed for the low power operation and variable kind of things. Yeah, I was talking about the sensors. In the morning also, one of the professor has asked the question for which type of sensors get used. Okay, so sensor is another important block. Like there is a microprocessor, microcontroller is a one important block. Like sensor is another important block. Which detects a change or event in an object or environment and converts to the electric signal. This is the simple definition of the sensor. This is the definition is not very new. Yeah, there is one question. Kalyani ma'am, can you just check which question is this? Someone is asking me a question. In the chat window. Hello.
Sir, maybe the question is sent to you privately. I'm not able to see that.
Okay, okay. So the uh, Hina Wadhwa ma'am has asked a question like, so is there is simulator to check the working of this processor or working of these sensors? See, working of these sensors, there are no simulators, but working of the processor, there are simulators. You know, ma'am, you better know like, suppose you want to check the simulation of MSC 430, then definitely there are certain tools available from Texas itself where you can check how much power that particular function, particular, program is going to take. Suppose you interface a sensor and you want to test it. Okay, this is my LCD I am interfacing. Then that particular code will tell you exactly how much power you are going to be consuming. So such simulators and such tools are available from the Texas if you're using MSC 430. But sensors, particularly datasheet itself mention for this particular sensor if you are using, then how much power requirement for the sensor to be active. Hmm? So this is given in the datasheet of that particular sensor only. So, but no simulator as such what I'm knowing. Okay. So is that I'm answering your question, ma'am? Okay, thank you so much. So please let me know if you still further have any queries. Okay, even after finishing my talk, we will have the question answers. Yeah. So I was talking about the sensors. So there are like analog sensors in healthcare that very much aware about, like EEG, ECG, PPG, temperature, humidity. But these are not conventional things. If you say that conventional ECG requires a 3 and 4 electrode to be mounted on your body. So where is the concept of variable will come in picture? That is not going to be work in variable. So variable, how the variable measures the heart rate, how the variable measure. So different techniques. They are using optical techniques, IR based techniques for the measurement of the heart rate kind of thing. But it is functioning similarly like EEG, ECG, PPG, so that they should monitor the data, what exactly conventional ECG is doing. They should monitor the data, what exactly conventional temperature sensor is doing or humidity sensor is doing. But we should have to find out the alternate solution. We should have to find out the alternate physics for this, so that I could able to sense, I could able to say that physiological parameters of the body. Similarly, like there are MEMS sensors, accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, barometric, altimeter. So these are also coming inbuilt in your mobile phone, also inbuilt in your Fitbit. Accelerometers and Palak ma'am has some question. Can you please type there in chat window, ma'am, so I could able to see. Yes, please go ahead to ask the question. Yeah, which is a good sensor to build ECG rated applications. So suppose you want to build ECG rated applications, then definitely you could not use the 4 retro type kind of thing, which would not become as a variable. That's why I'm saying if you want to just measure what is the function of the ECG, so to monitor the your heart activity. So there are sensors like the optical sensors. So optical sensors, those are using to monitor your heart activity. So IR-based sensors. So generally they prefer to be used in a variable kind of thing. Those are used for the monitor the heart activity. Yeah, 3 electrode sensor. Basically, those are using, yes, 3 electrode sensor or 4 electrode sensor. That will be give to the best, but that would not become in a variable classification. And variable, you see, sometimes you will not find that much of accuracy compared to your conventional ECG, because conventional ECG costing you your 10,000, 25,000 rupees, but your even Fitbit, Fitband cost is around 1,500 or maybe for 4,000, 5,000. What you expect out of that? So accuracy, definitely you have to sacrifice the accuracy, but at least tentatively you can get, these are my heart rates. You will get not a picture, or maybe the picture form you will get something, but the accuracy you have to sacrifice somewhere, because this was the sensor what we are using there. Yeah, Sonal ma'am, yes, you are working on ECG variable. Which technique you are using particularly? You can speak, please. You can unmute yourself and you can let us know the others as well. Which
Yeah.
methods?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes. Can you hear me, sir?
yes, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. So basically, I'm interfacing Raspberry Pi with the MATLAB, and but I'm not getting the proper sensor for that because 3 electro sensor is not giving the correct graph of ECG on the MATLAB. It is showing the graph, but it is not that much accurate.
Do you want to use for the variable or for some other activity?
First of all, I just want to record the ECG. Then after, I'm going to convert it into the wearable device. But
Okay.
with that sense, I'm not getting the accuracy. So, can you suggest any sensor which will be used for?
Basically, when you are going for 3 electrode or maybe 4 electrode kind of thing, so which processing you are using? There is a directly you can say the ECG amplifiers are available. If you choose that kind of signal conditioning,
Mhm.
maybe the Texas Instrument having the ECG amplifier, which is specifically designed to directly interface the ECG electrodes.
Okay.
Suppose you are designing your own amplifier, because ECG signal is in millivolt range,
Yes.
even sometimes in the microvolt range, right? So then probably your noise level itself is that much.
Yes.
So when you're designing the filters, probably our analog filters are not that good. So our original signal is we could not distinguish from your noise signal. So instead of going that conventional kind of signal conditioning, if you use a ECG amplifier itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, we will email to you that ECG amplifier part numbers. And these companies are specifically designing for such kind of thing. Okay, this is EEG amplifier, this is ECG amplifier. And after that, you can use any computational device, whether MATLAB or microcontroller or something like that. But signal conditioning is very important, playing very important role into that. Whenever there's a millivolt kind of data, you have to handle.
Yes, sir. Actually, this AD8232 I am using, and which is having the electrodes plus this signal conditioning PCB also with it.
Okay, so then after you are interfacing with which microcontroller?
Uh, with Raspberry Pi and Arduino, both I have tried, sir.
But you are not getting output.
I'm getting the waveform, but that is getting means improper amplitudes, and sometime it comes, sometime it does not come like that.
Okay, so
Means
then
if I want to use it for the medical purpose, I don't think that will be up to the
no, no,
mark.
no. This is not the variable, but maybe the sensor placement is okay. There is no issue.
No, sir, no.
Let's
Even I have recorded at the rest position.
okay. Yeah, but I don't know. Then maybe I could not comment right now. What could be the reason? Because if you are using the ECG amplifier, then
Mhm.
you must have solved out all the problems. So then you should be get it. But don't know why it's happening exactly. So probably further we can see and we can discuss later on also.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure, thank you.
Sometimes your electrode signal, maybe you can see whether proper earth is getting and proper signal is getting from the electrode. That also you should look into. But I know that this is very preliminary thing, and you might have taken care of all such things. Maybe some issue with the processing, data processing. Don't know, because you are transferring to data to the MATLAB, right? Eventually,
Yes, sir.
and up to Raspberry Pi, you are getting your data correctly.
No, sir. Means I have seen that data waveforms on the oscilloscope first, and after that, I have seen observed it in the MATLAB also. So on the both on oscilloscope and in MATLAB environment, in both the environments, I'm getting the same issue, sir.
Some issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, an issue maybe the electrode side only, I think.
And on the the sensors which are interfaceable to the Arduino and Raspberry Pi such a boards, I could not able to find much more sensors for the ECG particularly.
No, but sensors are not typically designed for Arduino or Raspberry Pi. So ECG sensors are generic in nature. So yeah, you can say miniaturizations are there, but they are not typically for Raspberry Pi or typically for MSP430 kind of thing.
Okay.
I didn't find the sensor specific to the microcontroller.
Mhm.
Sensors are generic in nature. The only question is whether you are going for 3 electrode or 4 electrode kind of architecture, or sometimes 6 electrode even. That is the only difference. But sensors are not typically for Raspberry Pi or this kind of. Yeah, we will discuss later on. Maybe that is a really interesting thing to work with this, and later on also we can discuss on that.
Yes, sure, sir. Because I'm working on the ECG since last 2 years, but the database which I have used was available on the internet by the physionet.com, and but I want to record the Indian database, so
Okay.
that's why I need a proper measurements. But I want to classify the heart diseases basically,
Yes.
and after that I'm going for wearables. So
Yeah. The variable, definitely this kind of technique is not going to work
okay.
because
Yes, obviously, yes.
variable, that's why I was discussing variable. We are going for different kind of sensing techniques, which is really miniaturized, because
Yes.
accuracy is not important in that case. But it doesn't mean that we are sacrificing full accuracy, but at least we are tentatively getting information in variable thing because of the size and cost issues involved.
Yes.
That could not be the case for normal ECG monitor, where you definitely require a lot of accuracy. That's why cost is definitely playing major role into that.
Yes.
So even your whatever the watch shown in the picture, so they are using simple optical type of sensor just to sense the what is the your heart rate. So such kind of techniques they are using for sensing.
The pulse reading I'm getting accurately with the pulse sensor, but the problem is with the ECG waveform.
ECG. Yeah, we can discuss, no problem, ma'am. Maybe
Sure.
later on you are here for next 5 days, so we can
Yeah,
discuss.
yes, sure, sir. Thank you.
The coordinate of this course. So even you just drop a mail, and so that once we have your email ID, then also further we can discuss on that. Because I could not emphasize exactly what could be the problem, what could be the problem. Okay, so I was discussing about the sensors, and thanks for raising this query, because yes, sensors are very important parameter, and sensors are very important one, which is going to play major role in the variable technology. And the sensor those are using for conventional thing and sensor those are using for variables are definitely different. So this accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, it is there, but they are in miniaturized in size and sacrificing little bit accuracy just because of the size and cost issue. Sometimes there are sensor fusion. So not only one sensor having one signal conditioning, another sensor having another signal conditioning. It's not like that. There are 2-3 sensors are combined together for a one signal conditioning. So a signal conditioning block is not dedicatedly for one sensor. 2-3 sensors together. So that we call a sensor hub. and handle the sensor in real time, requires constant CPU attention. This is called a sensor hub. So generally, they use sensor hub to interface to the sensors, and they interface with the microcontroller. Another component, what we are talking about, the software, which is operating system. Yes, every wearable device has one application program running with this. That gives the user interface. That gives the very, you to say, seamless interface of the user to interact with the wearable device. Maybe that you are input or maybe they take the output. So they are running with one OS, dedicated OS, very lightweight OS, and that will be provide to you a very good interface for them. So there are even MSP 430 also having the OS specifically designed for MSP 430, and this is RTOS, lightweight RTOS, which is working in the wristwatches like that. So advanced operating systems such as iOS or Android, conventional Android, or your Android, so wearable device iOS, those are different. Just different in what, which component? We are just reducing the number of features, so it becomes lighter and lighter. Which are the features are important? Let's say Bluetooth is important for me, touchscreen is important for me, and some display is important, and Wi-Fi, wireless, like TCP/IP is important. These are the only kernels, and I'm going to select, and accordingly I'm going to be customize my OS for this application. So the OS is playing major role, and people are developed the OS typically for use for the wearable devices. So wireless connectivity, I already talked to you that this is another important factor. If you don't have wireless connectivity, your device is just displaying the information. You could not able to transmit it. So people want everything in my wearable device. You want to transmit with my mobile phone, you want to transmit with my app, you want to transmit with my Google, everything. So then definitely TCP/IP or Wi-Fi, that is playing the major role with that, and every microcontroller nowadays coming with that stack. But parallelly, all the wireless has major problem of power consumption. So once you have wireless inbuilt, either Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, then power consumption starts increasing. So this is again the, going to say, one compromise between your power and wireless kind of activities. Of course, antenna also there. If you see your wireless device at the back side of the wireless device, there is a plated antenna is coming. So that will be providing to you the wireless connectivity. Yeah, these are some features for compact, lightweight, low profile, flexible, mechanically robust, high efficiency. These are all conventional. What are the features I told you initially? Everything should be very important in designing of the wearable devices. Now, most important point I want to discuss is the battery technology. So, battery technology, lithium-based rechargeable batteries are more preferred because, of course, lithium ion has a lightweight, higher energy density, relatively simple in manufacturing, and also the higher rechargeable ability rate. And there are people who have developed the BMS where you can recharge your batteries even in a 4 minutes, 5 minutes time. You can recharge your battery. Be variable devices battery I'm talking about, because it's a simple cell, pouch cell, or maybe the simple. Generally they are preferred to be the pouch kind of cell. These are whatever the picture is showing in the pouch cell. So even circular, in a rectangular, these are the two types they are using. But really, do you feel this technology is going to be withstand long again? No, because this lithium ion itself has a big question mark. Yeah, there are a lot of disadvantages of lithium ion that I'm not going to talk about. But still, as you have the wireless inbuilt with your wearable, definitely the battery is going to drain very fast. You can't avoid this. 4 hours, 5 hours is a very good enough time for using your touchpad and your display and your battery, wireless and Bluetooth kind of thing. Then what is the solution? The solution is that your battery should be charged on the shelf. I should not be remove my wristband and put it for the charging and again. So people will not be prefer this kind of thing. Then my battery should be charged there itself when it is implanted, when it is on the hand or when on my arm. So then batteries are low charging batteries, low power charge. Even though it takes 1 hour to recharge, doesn't matter because it's a real-time recharging, continuous time recharging. Such kind of technology now becoming more popular, and that's because of this, wearable devices now going to become more popular because people will prefer this now. Yes, if there is no power issue, let my battery is charging continuously, and if it is of charge fully, it will be going to trickle charge. What is the charge they are knowing about? But I don't want to remove my battery outside of the wearable device, or I don't want to remove my wearable device and put it for charging. So that hurdle is now is going to be avoided. Yeah, somebody has a question, please. You can type in a chat window. I will prefer to answer that. If you raise the hand. Yes, another display. Another component is the display. You can see the display. Now this is a wrist kind of thing, wristband, where you complete your wrist is a display, and this is a touch screen kind of thing, LCD or maybe the capacitive touch screen. So minimum complexity, intuitive interaction, and definitely ultra low power consumption. These are the important features what we should look for the display unit. This is the OLED. Sometimes people also prefer to go for the OLED kind of thing, but OLED little bit consume more power compared to the capacitive touch screens. Or DLP kind of thing, digital light processing, DLP technology. This is patentable technology by the Texas, which is used for the image and all these things. So such kind of displays are using. I will show you the best example of the display, which is a Google Glass. So how it works and what is the best wearable devices that we are having so far nowadays. So this is also in the market. This wristband. So based on the Dr. Sandeep has asked me the question. I heard that Japan has made a battery which lasts long for a year. What is the composition of that battery? Sir, I really am not aware about such kind of battery because if you heard every day or every week there is one news is coming in the battery. My battery is without lithium and my battery is. I'm not audible. Is I audible?
You are audible.
Okay. Yeah, doctor. Someone has asked me the question like Japan has made a battery which lasts long for a year. What is the composition of that battery? Probably you heard the Japan story. I will tell you the story from the US. They have developed the battery which is your lithium sulfur battery. Such kind of chemistries are always there, but you only looking for one side. That is the battery is last long. Means once you charge your battery, it is last long for a year. I never heard about such kind of technology. I will not comment on such kind of technology because I don't know whether really such kind of batteries still exist. But I'm very much sure about now there are batteries which you can recharge in a real time. There is no need to take the batteries out and put it for the charging station and charge that battery. Your body itself will be recharge your battery. Body generates because of your walking, because of your exercise. They generate the power and that get utilized to charge your battery wirelessly because wireless battery charging technology is now becoming very popular and mature even. So because of that thing, it's definitely low power magnetic type charging. It's definitely low power charging, but main hurdle is no need to take out the wearable device from your body and put it for the charging. I'm very much sure about that technology. I'm not sure about whether Japan has come up with that battery and it will last long for the year. I'm really sorry. I don't know for that about that. It's a news for me as well. Yeah, this is one person, Professor Mahesh Matpati has asked me, sir, can you please suggest me antenna used for wearable device? Definitely. This is your printable circuit antennas. This is not a special antennas for that. Your PCB, your device itself having the printable circuits that is going to be used as an antenna for that variable because we don't have space to fit the antennas for that. And you might have seen for your RF antennas and where the PCB itself is acting as an antenna. Sir, so we can explore that thing as well for the variable. So user interface I was talking about. I will give the another. We will have the question answer maybe after finishing my talk. Based on capacitive touch sensing, implementing the touch screens, buttons, and sliders. These all are implemented as a touch screens. Everything is displayed on your wrist, or maybe the wrist watch itself is a complete touch screen. Full circular capacitive touch screen, and where you can just touch your hand and play the buttons like that. So such kind of devices are available, and most importantly, capacitive touch screens are very low power touch screens, so they are very much preferred. Buzzer, vibrating motors, and LEDs to provide the feedback. Of course, vibrating motors are also get used in your mobile phone. Parallelly, your Fitband also using the vibrating motors. That is also get used as a user interface in the wearables. Now I'm just putting some case study for you. This is the smartwatch. What are the components of the? Can you please hold on for a minute? Hello. 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 Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I was just discussing about the smartwatch. So what are the components of the smartwatch? I have shown you the general. Hello. Okay, okay. I'm fine. So I was talking about the general diagram of the variable, but this is very specific to the smartwatch. So smartwatch, if you look for, there are certain analog sensors as well as capacity UI. So this screen, whatever you are talking about, this is capacitive screen. It has LED buzzer as well as vibrating motor, and some analog front end, some analog sensors for the temperature. There may be some sensor for your pulse measuring, your body pulse measuring. And of course, it has some wireless connectivity as well, so that Bluetooth connectivity which can interface with your mobile phone. So this is one example of the wearable device and what are the components of the wearable device. Another most important wearable feature is the Google Glass. Most of you have seen that this is Google Glass, and it is very, very popular in US as well, using the utmost technology in the wearable technology. And preferring, they are using the LPC 1764 microcontroller. It has some micro SD audio camera interface as well, so that you can visualize, you can see in front of you the virtual screen is appearing. In front of you virtual screen appears, and like a phone also you can convert to your screen in front of you, and you can just scroll on the things, and there is no need to touch to your phone. You can simply just, the screen will be play on in front of you and you can touch that. So this is another and most advanced wearable device. But if you see for this device, what are the things are involved? Power unit is almost there, as well as the camera. So OV 7670 kind of camera is the interface. Audio codec is there. You can talk like Alexa kind of thing as well. Capacitive sensors, capacitive touch buttons are there. So this is the best example of wearable. Now, where the wearable technology will be, you are looking for next 10 years, 5 years down the line. So if you look for the smart earrings, now the smart earrings will be come in the market. So your earrings, not only simply earrings, but it will be the smart earrings, will track your heart rate. You'll monitor your body temperature. It is not going to display, but at least it will be measure and transmit, your body oxygen level as well as your health statistics. So this particular device is already in the manufacturing, and maybe the next 4 years, 5 years down the line, we will have these smart earrings. There are another Another technology in a variable going to play mood shirts. What are the shirts? What are the we are using that? So that is a mood dependent. Based on my mood, its color is going to be changed. Based on my mood, that shirt will provide sensors in the shirt will monitor your all physiological parameters. It will also broadcast the information around you. The shirt will feel you very positive and healthy as well. Because it has inbuilt sensors. And you say that, oh, I'm feeling very, very dull. Probably your shirt will change the color automatically. And so probably you not feel that only one shirt is essential for me. It's not like that. But at least for temporary, you will feel very positive and healthy if you such kind of shirts will be also in the market. Maybe next 5 years, 10 years. Smart shoes. Right now, what are the shoes you are wearing? All the shoes, what you wear, that will be the smart shoes, which generate the energy to power your sensors attached to your body. So that I was talking about. You have a wearable device, you have battery into that. Your shoes will charge your batteries. Your shoes, as you walk in, it will generate some power, and wirelessly it will be charged your wearable devices. And this is very much possible. People have tested it. And that's why people say that there is a market, huge market of wearable now, next 5 years, 10 years down the line. These shoes will also help you to cool your shoes and heat your feet as well if necessary. Sometimes if it's too cold, so shoes will try to heat up your little bit your feet and you feel very, very comfortable into that. So this will also track your exercise. So such kind of devices, I'm to say, this is just I have given 2-3 examples, but if you see for future, such kind of devices is going to become in market, and such kind of devices are going to play a major role in the wearable devices and wearable technologies. Of course, they are going to be adopt artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining, voice recognition, virtual augmented reality. So these all are the concepts, these are the terminologies what we are going to learn on. They are definitely going to be used in wearable because wearable has to be too smart, and that's why there is a major role of these technologies in the wearable. One technology is a long to be discussed about that, but Google Glass uses artificial intelligence and machine learning kind of thing. So you can explore that more. We can talk on more on Google Glass even later on. But I'm just giving one hint to you that Google Glass is one of the best things where latest all these advancements are going to be used there. So thank you so much. Thank you for patient listening to me. I know maybe there is time we can discuss your questions. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the query, please. Yeah, definitely. I will give my PPT to the coordinator. Coordinator will collect all the PPTs together and coordinator will send you the PPTs, combined PPTs. Definitely. If you have any queries, we can discuss, please. Or you can even type in a chat window and we can discuss. Okay, so if you don't having it, should we stop here, ma'am?
Sir, can you discuss one thing like while using embedded system or while using microcontrollers, for specifically microcontrollers, there are peripherals or components of the microcontroller like timers, interrupts and all. So how these things can be used smartly for multitasking or wearable point of view?
Yeah, I would like to discuss on that, but I suggest you tomorrow also there is one session on microcontrollers for wearables, right?
Okay.
So specifically we will discuss that time because I know this is really good thing what you asked. All the functional units, as you use more function, energy is going to be utilized more. So how smartly you can synchronize, how smartly you can schedule your all the tasks, and definitely you can achieve the best performance in a low energy. Performance to power ratio, how you can specifically improve in a variable. That is really good thing to talk, and I would like to talk tomorrow as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Is there any variable device where BP can be measured? Yeah, Ms. Kalyani, ma'am, you want to discuss on this? Where the variable
Yes, sir. BP variable For blood pressure measurement, basically, non-invasive blood pressure measurement technique is the famous one which is used, and it is put on the arm for measurement. But now it has gone down to wrist. So Omron has developed one wristband kind of a thing for measurement of BP, which we can call it as a wearable BP monitor or wearable BP measurement. There are few sensors which can be used, but that sensors don't give that much accuracy, where they are not clinically acceptable. So I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah, Onram has that device where you can go for the blood pressure measurement. But I will say blood pressure not accurately get measured till date. I have not find any device who can measure accurately blood pressure by the non-invasive kind of thing. Otherwise, general measurement techniques are there for the blood pressure. But people are working on this. This is not, again, I would say, not too truly mature technology for blood pressure measurement. Particularly. Yeah, anyone, please?
Hello. Sir, I have a question.
Please, man.
Actually, we are saying that we are diagnosing the ECG, EMG with wearable also. So, what about the accuracy? As there is already the noise problems into the conventional devices. So then, how diagnosis? Whether it is a reliable diagnosis we can do with the wearable?
No. I told you, right? Whenever you are using wearable, we are not using conventional ECG sensors. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello. हो पिन निकालो जल्दी बरं ओके मी निघतोय जाऊया जाऊया sorry the accuracy we have to sacrifice the accuracy, ma'am, because we are using the non-invasive technique, IR based technique. So definitely you could not expect the same accuracy what your conventional sensors are using for ECG.
Okay.
Because if you see for the cost wise, your variable is hardly costing 4,000, 5,000 rupees. But you could not say it is not giving very low accuracy. It is giving tentative or approximate measurement of your heart rate.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kalyani ma'am. Thank you for anyway. I am with you for next 4 or 5 days, and I am handing my slides to the Kalyani ma'am. I know a lot of disturbance. I'm sitting here in the office, so a lot of calls are also coming. I'm extremely sorry for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Now I think its digital BP device gives the same measurement like analog device. Yes, it gives the same measurement, not exactly same. There is an error of 5 to 10 BP, what you can say mmHg, but for just superficial measurement, it is accepted. It is not the exact one. I think I have answered the question. Is there any other question? If not, then I conclude the session. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you for patient listening.